if that bill passed, we would have been more effective under even Biden in some respects than now when we have a willing partner in Donald Trump, because they're trying to kneecap state enforcement efforts. We've got some work to do here. Now, it's interesting because they have tried to say that this is somehow some great piece of legislation. I can tell you, the voters, I've never seen voters react more negatively to a piece of legislation. So they're thinking, like, the governor's calling for us to step up. Florida, we lead in Florida. We've done that for 6 years, leading the nation on all this stuff. You know, it's great to see the great start President Trump's gotten off to, going after DEI, the gender mutilation of minors, all that stuff. We did that stuff years ago in Florida. I mean, we were the first out of the gate on all of that stuff to lead, and we're going to be the first out of the gate to be strong partners in finally ending illegal immigration once and for all in this country. So we are, yeah, no, it's important. So they've done this, and it actually undercuts what we're already doing. So, for example, when we had some of the unrest in Haiti, you know, they'll send boats with these Haitians, these illegals, and they'll come to mostly South Florida, obviously. And we didn't want to see a big influx, but by Coast Guard vessels, so we declared a state of emergency. I surged vessels. We've interdicted thousands and thousands of illegals. And you look at these boats, some of them have narcotics, they have guns and all this stuff. We've saved a lot of lives by coming to the state of Florida. We've done other interdiction efforts. FDLE was just working down in Coral Gables. They busted Chinese illegal aliens. FHP just did a bust in Tallahassee. They're constantly doing that and getting people off the street. Obviously, it's much more effective with Trump than with Biden, because Biden would release them once they got to immigration in many cases. So we've been doing all that. So the bill the legislature sent me terminates the state of emergency that's unlocked our ability to do all the things we're currently doing. They want to shut it, just as Donald Trump declared a national emergency at the border. They want to shut down Florida's declaration to say this is an important issue. And basically things these guys have been doing, and they're working very constructively. Now, if you were serious about ending illegal immigration, why the hell would you stop the things we're doing that's been effective? But that's what they wanted to do, terminate. That's in the bill. The other thing they did is they eliminated any immigration enforcement from the governor and our state agencies, and really local in many respects. And they lodged it in the agriculture. First of all, has that ever been done anywhere in the United States? How often is agriculture viewed as leading the fight against illegal immigration? I don't think I've seen that. And so it's really like the fox guarding the hen house. So it's a bad decision. They don't have the resources. You'd have to create a whole new bureaucracy to be all these problems. But they actually, in the bill, they prohibit our state agencies and your local agencies from even talking to ICE without the approval of the Commissioner of Agriculture. So if you want to have Panhandle, police departments, your sheriff's departments, if they're working to bust like some illegal alien gang, they wouldn't be able to turn them over to ICE unless the Commissioner of Agriculture gave them approval. Who the hell do they think they are to say they need a Mother May I of freaking agriculture? And so people will say, they'll say, you know, well, why would they do that? It doesn't make sense. Because think about it. What state has done a better job at crisis management, disaster response, emergency response than the state of Florida? Is there a state that's done better? Not even close. So we have that are in all these fights. We have a great record of success in responding to different things. And why would you want to kneecap that? And even if you were serious about it, to create a new set of bureaucracy and the Commissioner of Agriculture doesn't make sense. And the reason they did it, it's not because they're dumb. They knew by doing that they would stymie enforcement against illegal immigration. They don't want to remove illegal aliens from this state, okay? Some of them want cheap labor for some of these business interests. And here's my problem. So first of all, we did E-Verify a couple years ago. And E-Verify, so it's private business. You just run them through the computer. You're here lawfully, you can be hired. If you're not, you can't be hired. That's the law of the land. It's not like we're imposing a new set of laws. So that's the law. And so we've done it. But then so the legislature in this debate, because they want to take E-Verify away from the governor and put it in the Commissioner of Agriculture. Gee, wonder why. But what they tried to say is, oh, the governors, you guys weren't tough enough. You were dropping the ball, this stuff. Well, it turns out the legislature has refused to fund E-Verify the last 2 years. Imagine why they wouldn't want to fund E-Verify. They probably have some supporters that don't want them to do it. But because they said that, we've now sent out letters to a lot of these businesses that are sometimes suspected of having illegal labor. We've sent it out, and we said, hey, some members of the Florida are suggesting that you may be using illegal labor and you're not using E-Verify, and they're saying that the ball's been dropped. So we're now going to get confirmation on all these businesses, and we are going to follow up with them to see if they're following the law or not. But these guys deliberately did not want to fund that because they want the policy to be you have illegal workers because it's cheaper for some of their supporters. And here's my problem with that. One, we got to be a rule of law, right? If you want to have foreigners come in, then change the law. Now, I wouldn't support that, but at least we're all on the up and up. Why is it that you have to follow the law, but some of these other guys don't have to follow the law? That doesn't work for me. Doesn't make sense. So I have from a rule of law perspective. I also have a problem, though, when you bring in the illegal foreign labor. You're obviously undercutting wages. They say, oh, Americans don't want to do. Americans will do more construction if it pays better. They just want an artificially lower. But here's the thing. It's a massive corporate subsidy to them at your expense because guess what? They're paying low wages. You're paying for schooling for the kids. You're paying for medical when they go to the emergency room. And tragically, a lot of people pay when they get hit in like a traffic accident and the illegal doesn't have insurance. So it imposes massive costs on our communities. And a lot of them don't want to acknowledge that, don't want to say they're for that, but they've made policy choices in this bill that would lead us to essentially being a sanctuary state. Because if these guys can't even communicate with ICE without going Mother May I to agriculture, you are handcuffing the people that are out there trying to keep you safe from the scourge of illegal immigration. They also didn't do anything to stop catch and release. My proposals say you get the drunk driving is something that I talk about a lot because we have a lot of people who've lost loved ones being hit by an illegal alien drunk driver in almost every instance that I know of. It's not the first traffic infraction that these guys have had. So if they're there, get arrested under the bill that the leaders passed. They go before a judge and just get. There's no presumption of detention. For us, we don't think that they should be entitled to bail. We think that they should. The default should be that they're detained and then turned over to immigration. Don't just put them back on the street.